3 Cents Podcast is brought to you by Integrity Roofing and Siding. These guys are awesome when it comes to roofing needs, but also siding and renovation. They do gutters. These are year-round issues, and Integrity Roofing and Siding is there for you 24/7 year-round. Need a roofer? Our roofer is Integrity Roofing and Siding, 210-340-7663. 210-340-7663. The official roofing company of 3 Cents Podcast is Integrity Roofing and Siding.
It is Tuesday. It is 1 o'clock. That can only mean one thing. It is time for another 3 Cents Podcast presented by Integrity Roofing and Siding. Later this week, we will have Ronnie and Stephanie Suarez in the house to hear more about their amazing story and to thank them in person many times over for their support.
Absolutely.
Their continued support of 3 Cents Podcast presented by Integrity Roofing and Siding. We have a few people already on our Facebook Live right now, so please do us a solid if you can. Sharing is caring, as they say. So just share the podcast and make our audience grow.
It's very good.
Right? I didn't come up with it. I didn't come up with it. I'm not going to take any
Sharing
credit
is caring.
for it.
Yeah, I'm glad this show takes care of its Facebook followers. Because we're old. We rely on Facebook. I remember my kid telling me, Daddy, that's for old people.
That's exactly what my son said the other day.
My kid said the same thing, too.
Your little ones? Your younger ones?
No, it was one of my 22-year-old.
No, my 13-year-old.
About 4 years ago, I was told Facebook's for old people.
My 22-year-old told me that, too.
I said, well, call me old then, because, I mean, not that I do have a TikTok account, and I have Snapchat and those other things I'm not very active on. But, I mean, just, again, call me old school or just call me old. I've always liked the Facebook, and I like the Facebook Live, component.
Speaking of old.
Yes.
I saw, my wife and I have been doing these things where we watch different movies that we're catching up on some of the stuff, but we like thrillers and stuff. So we watched this one with James Franco and the guy from Superbad and Moneyball. What's his name? With the glasses, the chubby guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, okay, so him.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Jonah
right.
Hill.
Jonah Hill,
thank
you, yeah.
And it was a true story, great movie, and it's like, that one says, okay, next up on stream, this movie is for you.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So all these movies. So we watched The Verdict last night.
Okay.
Remember with Paul Newman back in the day, 1982.
Wow.
This guy asked for a phone book, a cab, was on a payphone.
Yeah.
And the lady pulled out those the photos, the with the pictures in the
like
wallet.
A scrapbook or something?
Like
in the wallet. Yeah,
the
when you
wallet,
held your wallet up and they would fall down.
What would that call? Yeah, like the
plastic
wow.
sleeves.
The plastic sleeves
They
of
would
photo
roll,
album.
They would fall down, yeah.
I was naming so many different things on this movie that was like, oh boy, do I feel old. I feel old. And I told y'all about the Hawaii Five-0 thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel old watching movies from 1999.
Right.
Honestly.
No, I know what you mean.
The hair and the clothes and the computers.
Yep.
Like the size of an LG's laptop.
Yeah.
Is tiny compared to what I had in 1999.
Oh, yeah.
The big giant block thing looks like a box of bullets. It was a laptop. The old AOL startup.
You've got mail.
Yeah. That's just 15, 20 years ago. Anyway. But no, we do that all the time.
Yeah.
There's so many movies I've not seen, so lately we've been trying to do the same thing. And we watched some older movies lately, catching up on some old television shows.
Yeah.
And it's funny that the things you see that you took for granted then that we don't even think about now that are gone, that have been gone for a long time. I'm not trying to say that's better then. Right. But it's tough getting old and evolving.
We do often explain to our kids, we'll pause a show or a movie and say, they'll ask what a rotary phone is or how to, you have to used to, those kinds of things. And we've had the conversation about pay phones before. I think I saw one in San Antonio not too long ago at an H-E-B.
That was working?
The gas station. I don't know. I didn't try it. But it was not at an H-E-B. It was like those little mini gas stations they have like outside some of the H-E-Bs. And it was...
Oh, yeah.
It was just sitting there. And I thought about it, but I didn't have time or whatever. But I guess every once in a while you can still find a payphone.
Yeah, always had to keep a collection of coins in your car.
Yep.
In case you needed to use the phone outside of the Piggly Wiggly or whatever. Right. Because I got to call home. I got to tell my mom I'm going to be late. Remember the Piggly Wiggly?
Piggly Wiggly, yeah.
Did you, growing up in the Metroplex, did you have tolls? I'm trying to remember, because we didn't grow up with toll booths or the quarters and
Dallas
everything.
had tolls.
Houston, I know.
Fort Worth never had any until the last decade. The first time that I got on a toll, I was scared.
Yeah, same here.
It was the George W.
Same
Bush
here.
tollway in Dallas.
Yeah.
And I had to go up to far North Dallas 20 years ago.
Right.
And I was scared. What do I do?
Right.
I mean, am I going to blow up if I blow past
If
the
you-
toll?
Yeah.
Are they going to
Yeah.
put spikes
The
up?
car,
Yeah.
right. Spike strip down.
And then some of them are different where you
Yeah.
you have to slow down and throw the coins in the little basket,
Yes.
ka-ching,
Yes.
or literally hand it to a person. Now it's all, it's all
Right.
They flash your hubcap,
Texas tag
they
or
take
whatever
it-
it's
And then
called.
they mail you
tag.
the bill.
Yeah, and so I go up to Fort Worth a few times a year, and I get on the Chisholm Park Tollway.
Yes.
Right? Going into Fort Worth. It's just easier.
Yeah.
But then what happens inevitably is in 30 days, I'll get a bill for $18.50.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I don't have the Texas
That's
toll
right.
tag. So
Yeah.
I get charged more every time I go through there, but I don't go there enough to buy the toll tag.
Yeah.
Right.
I got to
Same
go
here.
online, pay the toll. It's a pain in the ass. And it's still shocking how, and in some ways it's cool. We don't have any tolls around here, but in some ways it's like, we could use a decent toll with the way TxDOT has just taken over our town in the last few years.
Just another piece of
a nice-
construction to add.
Yeah, a nice handy tollway would actually be good for this town eventually at some point. Although it'll take 80 years and we'll be dead, so whatever. Our grandkids can enjoy it.
Well, that's the same thing that they say about monorails or
They're great.
light rail or things that allegedly or supposedly coming to San Antonio at some
I hope
point.
so. I don't know. We'll see if Elon
In our
Musk can do it.
lifetime.
There was a
He's
big
boring a tunnel, isn't he, underground to
he
get us
wants
to Austin or something?
He wants to. There was a big meeting not long ago with leaders, community people, and it's been ongoing because I think that our leaders now realize that, and everybody that 95% of our viewers are probably San Antonians, and they don't want to hear that we are becoming a Southplex down here. Austin-tonio is going to be a thing. There's just
Austin-tonio.
nothing you can do about it. You
yeah.
just can't. It's almost hard to tell where San Antonio stops and Austin begins these days when
Yeah.
you go north on 35. And so our leaders know that in the future they're not going to have any choice but to mesh.
Yeah.
What's that look like business-wise, economically, sociologically,
Right.
all those things. It's exciting and scary at the same time. How great would it be? And I still think this will be the case. In the future, our kids, when they're our age, like your daughter may have a job. She may be able to work in Austin, no problem.
Right.
She might live right down here in some lofts
Yeah.
on the east side of San Antonio.
Yeah.
Jump on a monorail at St. Paul
Hyperloop
Square,
or whatever it's called.
and
Yeah.
be in Austin in 15 minutes and go to work all day and be back home that evening. That's going to happen, I do think. 'Cause
No,
we're
yeah.
going to have 3 million people. Some point, what's the projection? We're going to have 3 million people.
A million
just in
more by
Bexar,
2040.
just in Bexar County.
Yeah.
Not including Comal and
Right.
Travis,
Right.
and all the others north of us. It's going to happen. We're going to be a gigantic. It's going to be like the Philadelphia, New York, D.C. corridor at some point.
Then we'll get an NFL team in a downtown stadium.
Maybe
There we
a
go.
baseball team.
Now we're
would be
talking.
Baseball
cool.
team,
But
yeah.
until then, go Missions.
And we have the Spurs, which since if you're scoring at home, since we were last together, have still not won a ball game. But
Again, are we still tanking?
I'd rather talk missions.
the churches or the baseball team or both?
You pick.
Either one.
Either one. They still have. Will they win? We should do a running bit on this show where I should stop shaving
I was gonna say, yeah.
until they win, but I might have a beard.
If the Spurs win, Mike will take his shirt off again.
Yeah, I mean, good Lord.
We'll see. I don't know.
And they're so terrible. If I do agree to take off my shirt the next time they win, I've got time to lose 10 pounds to look better because they ain't winning anytime soon.
Oh.
The Lakers will be in here for 2 games this
You're gonna
week.
look like Jim Morrison.
Mike
in
has
the
a
Doors.
six-pack. What
yeah, I'll be all
happened?
skinny.
You know, at the end of the movie, remember when he
Oh, at the end.
At the
Oh,
end,
God,
he got that
yeah.
big old beard. And
Yeah. Did you see the Raging Bull?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna look like Robert De Niro at the end of
Robert De
Raging
Niro,
Bull,
yeah.
all
gosh.
bloated and fartable.
Wait.
Anyway. No, we're gonna get smoked by the Lakers. I'm sure both
Twice,
games this week.
probably.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Well, the Spurs have found ways to make headlines directly or indirectly off the court as well. And I had a feeling that this place would come up in this show at some point, and it sounds like today is going to be that day. So Fred's Fish Fry made the news the other day, along with the Spurs. And I know, Mike, you have
Well, it's
something
funny
to say
that
about
this has
that.
come up.
What
This
happened?
story. You don't know this?
No.
Oh, dude. Well,
I know you. Cleto was under the weather the other day,
okay,
and I know
cool.
you might have missed it.
Let me
but-
preface.
Okay.
So, as you know, I date a young woman from San Antonio, Texas, who is Miss San Antonio everywhere we go.
Yeah.
And we were 4 or 5 months into our relationship. It was too late for her. She'd already fallen in love with me to her detriment. Had she found out what she found out week 2 or 3, I'd have been gone. She even admitted that.
Wow.
She found out that I had never had Fred's.
Oh, that's
She was like, wait, what? She was like legit mad at me. How do you call yourself a San Antonian and you've never had Fred's fish fry? I go, baby, it looks like nasty-ass fish in a box. She's like, we're going to have a big fight right now. I go, let's not have a big fight. Why don't we get in the car and go get Fred's? Let's just do that. And I was creeped out by the one we went to. I thought I was going to go visit a prisoner.
Well,
It looked like a jailhouse.
Yep.
You walk in there, and first of all, it's all to go. You can't sit in there. And it's like you're ordering, I thought, are we buying weed or fish? Because it was all like behind a big glass, and all you see is this human hand slide it to you.
Let me stop you real quick.
It was old
Before
school.
you went, were you familiar with some of the talk in the community? And
That they're a front for drug dealers.
Okay,
and
I
the
just want to
cartel.
make sure. Just
Not, hey, I don't want to get sued.
No.
I don't want to get a lawsuit.
No.
Because they're busy suing people these days.
But you were aware of.
So it's funny that I
Yes.
finally actually have had now. I can say I've had Fred's fish
had it.
fry.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we got Fred's and went to Brack Park to eat it.
No, yeah, of
It's
course.
the most brutal thing I've ever done. And I told Nina that I
Did
liked
you have
it.
Big Red?
No, I don't think we had Big Red.
Okay.
That would have topped it.
That would have topped it, yeah.
And so I had to lie and say that I liked it so I could keep my relationship. It's terrible. It's awful. The fries were gross. It's nothing you're supposed to put in your body. You're a man of God. God says your body is a temple. Putting Fred's fish fry in your body is a sin.
You are what you eat, right?
Yeah, that's being bad. That's being mean to your temple by eating that garbage.
Oh, my
it
God.
sucked. HEB frozen fish in a pack is better than Fred's fish fry.
Like frozen, just not cooked.
Awful. And you got the nasty ass cheap white bread they give with you. Busted ass fries. Get out of here. It's not 1982 anymore. It's 2023. We're a great food city. I don't need to go to Fred's Fish Fry. I went once. I'm good. I saved my relationship. I've had it.
Yeah.
I didn't crap for 2 days because of it, but I saved my relationship. So I've had it. So all that to say, I forgot they existed. That was it. Crisis averted, and Nina loved me again. Move on.
All right.
What was it? Probably right after the season started is when that jersey came out.
Yes.
Have you had Fred's?
Hey, it's been a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I had that when I was a bachelor.
I'm
when
sure,
I lived in my
'cause it's
apartment.
cheap.
It was cheap.
Yeah.
It was right
terrible.
there. It was called the #1 3-piece fish. And I tell you, I think
Your COVID was worse because of that, not because of any vaccine situation.
I think I one time.
Your immune was wrecked by Fred's. And by the way, they deserve to get bagged on. Okay, let me get to this. I'm sorry.
So no, yeah, right after the season started.
So right after the season started, some kid, I don't know how old he is. I call him a kid. People go online all the time and make up memes. They create images. They do stuff. It's funny. We do stuff on our show all the time. Whatever.
Yeah.
Some guy took the Fred's Fish Fry logo and turned it into a Spurs jersey and was going around, was making the round. He just tweeted it. Ha! Look what I did.
Yeah.
And it blew up and went viral. He didn't mean for that to happen. He just thought he was being clever, and he created this Fred's Fish Fry jersey with blah blah blah. I don't think he actually had any made, did he?
Well, no.
Well, maybe
I don't know. I don't know that
them.
he did, but someone I think
took that
another
and was
company took, because there was a Bill Miller one too that I saw,
that was going around.
but I never saw a physical jersey made. And then all of a sudden you start seeing physical Fred's Fish Fry inspired jerseys.
Everyone's got the alternative jersey this year in the NBA because of the in-season tournament.
Right.
And this guy's like, ugh, our jerseys are gross. This would be an awesome alternative.
And they had Wemby T-shirts.
Right.
And, yeah, exactly.
So what happened was this week, Fred's Fish Fry sued this young man, like legit sued him with lawyers in court and everything for copyright infringement.
Oh, wow.
What is that? I mean, this poor guy, there's an article in the paper, actually I think today on this, where this poor kid, there's two guys, both named Galvan. They're not related. One of the Galvans has been like, hey, we're just buddies. I'm distancing from all this business. The guy named Galvan, who actually came up with the image for fun, has now been sued by Fred's Fish Fry.
Yeah.
No warning, no cease and desist, no letter. Hey, man, we didn't like that. Just straight up, boom, lawsuit.
Wow.
Jeez. This guy's not a rich guy. He was working at a food truck, if that gives you any indication of this guy's socioeconomic situation.
Not a millionaire.
No, not even a thousandaire.
Yeah.
And he says, according to him, he just got fired last week by the food truck he was working at because they said, "Hey, dude, you're bad for business. You're in the paper getting sued. We can't work with you." They fired him, which, by the way, he may have a lawsuit against them.
Wrongful termination.
And so now this poor guy's like, "Look, I was just goofing on the internet. I'm not trying to get rich on this. I wasn't making any money on this. I was just being clever. I'm just trying to get clicks on Twitter or whatever."
Right.
And now I'm out of a job. And now I'm going to have to countersue Fred's, which means now I got to go hire lawyers that I can't afford. And Fred's is not dropping its lawsuit. Fred's, come on, man. Look, did the kid commit copyright infringement? Yeah, probably, sure. But what are we doing here? Are we going to destroy some poor food truck worker's life because he came up with a clever thing to promote your ass, by the way?
But that's what I was going to say.
To promote your company.
If this was
your food's awful.
If you take the marketing perspective of it, now listen, none of us want anybody to come steal any of our ideas and make money off of it. I mean, but
no,
but you would take the position of, hey, Fred's, wouldn't they love all this exposure and all this attention and to be connected, even if the Spurs are losing 17 games in a row, to be connected to the Spurs. I've never been sued before, knock on wood, but don't you normally fire off a cease and desist letter first, or
just
send them
scare the guy? He's
right?
Just some
just say,
guy.
Stop! Don't do that again. I don't want to see it again, or else.
Or take it down, or that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
Take it down, or else.
Let's see what else comes down. Who knows? Maybe he was shipping jerseys all over the world.
Well,
I
yeah.
think he was.
Not anymore.
But they need his lawyer. Fred's lawyers have not commented. I need to see some evidence that justifies you cracking down on some young dude like this. Did you send a cease and desist?
Right.
Did you at least just try to warn the guy? Hey man, that's our logo. Appreciate the love. We'll send you a free box of terrible food. But you got to drop that from your website or whatever. You do that. What are we doing here? You're a massive company with God knows how many restaurants. It tells maybe they're struggling financially. Maybe because we've
Maybe they've
evolved
been
and we don't want
struggling
to ruin our bodies with your putrid food.
Well, but again,
and I'm not saying that because I'm mad at Fred's. They food suck.
Well,
so it
Mike
just
Taylor
happens
is
to be.
speaking on behalf of Mike Taylor.
If I thought they were good,
Association.
I would say that. And Fred's is awful. It's terrible for you. It's cheap food for poor people who can't afford to get good food, and that's wrong. You're taking advantage of poor people by serving them slop that's bad for them, that'll kill them early.
You need a disclaimer. The thoughts
Quit.
of Mike Taylor are all the
They're
Mike
all
Taylors,
mine. They're all
everybody.
mine. Fred's Fish Fry needs to stand down. Come on. It seems like overkill.
It seems a little over much. Yeah.
Come on.
It really does.
my question was because again, we know there were jerseys or shirts made because we saw them on the TV broadcast. Or I know
Did
I saw
this guy do it?
That's
or
what I
others?
want to know. And I was trying to like quickly research. Like, did this Galvan guy
Even if
make
he
the
did,
jerseys?
I mean, okay, maybe he sold 10 of them. I mean, gosh, how many bootleg Spurs jerseys are everybody? I got 3 in my closet now. I've got a shirt in my closet with the Whataburger W.
Yeah,
clearly the W of Whataburger
Yeah.
with all the little W's inside each other.
Yeah.
And it says Wimbenyama.
Yes.
Totally bootleg.
Yes.
I wear it. I've worn it on this show, I think.
Probably have.
It's absolutely not sanctioned by the NBA or licensed by anybody affiliated with the Spurs.
Sanctioned
It'd
by
be
the van on the side of the
mean,
road.
Need we be reminded? I was going to say about the old Ginobili shirts and everything that used to be sold.
I mean, it'd be one thing if I got sued. I mean, at least I have a podcast. This poor kid's working at a food truck.
Yeah.
Come on, it just seems like you're just overkilling. You're being right around Christmas too. Just going, now
Yeah.
this dude's out of work. Come on.
So the San Antonio Current says that Fred's named 21 defendants in the lawsuit, which was filed on the 6th, like less than a week ago.
Okay.
Which include 21 people, including the Galvan that you were talking about, and the apparel and clothing companies, 2 businesses that actually produced merchandise.
Okay, that's on them. This kid Galvan, who came up with the idea, needs to be let out of this lawsuit. Now he's out of a job. By the way, that food truck, they better come up with some real evidence as to why they fired this guy.
Yeah.
Your name got in the paper for negative reasons, which, by the way, his name shouldn't even have been in the paper because he shouldn't have been sued to begin with, and now you're going to fire him? That don't look good on whoever the food truck is that fired this guy, too.
Yeah.
Again, let's see all the facts. I'm absolutely willing. I am absolutely, like with all my opinions, I am willing to change my opinion upon further information, evolution, new info.
Anybody
new
else craving fish and shrimp?
But on its outset, not that shit, but on its outset, Fred looks like a giant paranoid bully for now. But we'll see how it shakes out, but right now they don't look good.
Speaking of fish, did you see the owner of Sea Island passed?
Oh, I saw that last week.
She passed, the matriarch of the company.
Yes.
Far superior food to Fred's.
No, that is really good.
That's not even a comparison right there.
Yeah,
really
no
good.
doubt.
Really good. Yeah, so that's very interesting because you don't hear about Fred's from Fred's very often. You hear other people talking about Fred's.
Yeah. It's like Bill Miller's. It's like you don't hear anything.
But it's interesting because there was definitely a Bill Miller design that was floating around social media.
Sure.
It had the cow, the pig, and the three little animals.
Are they going to sue everybody inside?
But I don't know that any apparel was ever made, so that might be different.
Yeah,
but,
I know guys that are in the apparel business. hustlers. Independently owned little LLCs, guys trying to sell jerseys and stuff. I have a guy that follows me on Twitter, who he produces jerseys with funny slogans on them, funny sayings. His shirt was going around the Green Bay Packers locker room last week because they made a shirt about the Packers, this local company here in town.
Right.
One of the Packers showed up wearing it in the locker room, and it went crazy, and all the guys were wearing it. That's great. It blew up. He's just some independent T-shirt maker. Even if whoever made these jerseys, even if they're probably just some small independent T-shirt maker, it ain't like Adidas is doing it.
No, it's not.
Come on, Fred. Y'all don't look very good. You're cracking down on some young dude in town just trying to have fun, and clearly he likes your company. He thought the jersey was cool, which here's the other thing. If you look at all the replies when that shirt first got posted, most people thought it was hideous.
Yeah.
And Fred's is a local icon. I'm bagging on their food for good reason. It's terrible, but they're a local icon. They're one of those businesses in this city that years ago caught fire in this town. And they become a legend, no matter how good or bad their food is.
Right.
And Bill Miller's, Fred's Fish Fry, Pig Stand, Lulu's, these old school places, M.K. Davis. Yeah. A lot of these places they're puro and they're in our hearts and we love them. We tend to overrate a lot of them. Because the world has evolved, and Fred should be ashamed of itself. They're a local icon, and today they look pretty shitty, honestly.
When I first saw it, the very first time I saw it, I thought, what a great opportunity for a marketing, what do they call it, a collab or get together and mass produce and see them all over the TV broadcast of the Spurs and everything.
Give the kid $500, and then you go make $500,000 on the deal. What are we doing here?
That's my first.
That's a great. I mean, I think my kid
instinct,
on this.
But
that's it. I reserve the right to change my mind.
We all
in
do.
my opinion.
We all do.
But on the outset, and they haven't commented, and I'll wait for them to. They look like bullies. Yeah. It's not like this kid's living in Dallas. He's a kid living in here.
Poor guy had an idea. If I change the jersey, the Spurs will play better.
He's just goofing. He's just doing a bit. He didn't like the alternate jerseys that we're wearing this year.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't like him either.
It's unfortunate.
Oh goodness. Well, that's the thing with Photoshop and everything these days. You can in
you see
60
how they
seconds
you see
can
how they're putting all the Adam Sandler Photoshop pictures all over the place.
From when he was here last week.
Adam was in town at the Pearl. because he did his gig at the AT&T Center.
Yeah. So I heard it was a pretty good show. I don't know as the resident comedian on the dais here on the table.
He does stand up. He plays tunes, wacky songs, brings out his comedian buddies, a bunch of other comedians.
Yeah, I heard.
It's pretty cool.
I think I told you about when I saw the Adam Sandler was getting his award for the Mark Twain Award. And Conan O'Brien came out and said, I think it was Conan that said, you know why all of Adam's friends came out tonight to honor Adam? Because if Adam's not in the movie, they're not in the movie.
Yeah.
It's that Adam pack.
The Adam effect.
Rob Schneider.
David Spade, all of those.
Yeah. You recognize them when you see
all of them.
All of them.
Oh, man. Our salute to all of our friends who are watching us on Facebook right now. Hi, Patty and Martha and Lydia's out there. Lydia Caballero, who came. I know you couldn't be with us the other day, but she came to see us at Walmart.
Yes.
When Mike and I were out there with the red kettle. I think we did pretty well.
He ain't updated the dang thing yet. Online.
He hasn't updated the total yet? All right, we got to get with Brad Mahar here. Rudy Juarez, Stephanie Fell, we appreciate you guys watching and sharing. Just grab your device to see how easy it is and just hit share and get this out there. But yes, We have an update. Breaking news.
Okay,
Update.
I stand corrected. Let it see. Here's
See?
an example.
This is
I will apologize and walk back opinions.
Okay.
It's been updated.
Yes. I haven't seen this yet.
We're up to $658.
Okay.
Okay, it's not where I want it to be.
568.
$658.
658.
All right.
Yeah, it's not. It was sitting 400 on Friday, so they've obviously added the cash that we've collected.
Nice.
I'm assuming.
All right.
That needs to be more. Our goal is 2,000. We're not
Yeah.
halfway there yet, and Christmas is in 3 weeks. Let's go.
So I'll have to, if I can pop that QR code on here in a little bit, I'll do that. Get it out there to the masses.
I will
We
too,
appreciate. But at any rate, have you ever had in your comedy career anybody try to steal something from you or jokes? Or you hear about that sometimes?
Yeah, I had a guy once steal a joke from me, and it was a joke I've done before on television. The whole thing is, if you do the joke on television, that's pretty much your joke.
Is that how you in the comedy world? That's how you obtain ownership of a joke.
That's why if you see somebody doing your joke on TV, that's a no-no. I mean, it's like guys have gotten fights.
I've heard. I've heard of some.
So we had for me, I've had this one guy, he stole one of my jokes, and I found out, I heard about it. I didn't see it. I didn't, I heard he was doing it. And I just kind of just unfriended him. And next thing you know it, I went to LA and he got a hold of me and said, "Hey man, I noticed we're not friends anymore."
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I heard you were doing my joke, and I didn't know, I couldn't see it offhand.
Right.
He was like, "Is this your joke?" And he started telling me the joke, and it's the same premise, but it wasn't the same joke. And all the feedback I was getting was from a bunch of hearsay and stuff. And I told him, I said, "Nah, don't worry about it. Just keep doing that joke." I was still doing my joke anyway, so I wasn't going to stop. Because, you work hard on a joke.
Sure.
It's like you're staying up all day, all night, just trying to restructure it and, try to get the punchline, trying to get the visual, everything on top of it. And sometimes it'll take a couple days to get that perfect, and you'll switch the joke 500 times so you get it right. And to have somebody steal it, no, that's a no. No.
Have you ever done stand-up before?
No.
Would you do it?
I got a stage, Mike. I got a stage.
And I only asked because he finally got me to do it after asking many times.
When did you do it?
I did it
did it for a benefit.
pre-pandemic. Or it was Eagles Flight.
Eagles Flight.
At the Magic Theater.
Yeah.
Yep.
I did it, I want to say 2018. It was or 19 pre-pandemic. And I was supposed to be up there for 5 minutes. And I did a little bit more than 5 minutes, but
It was David Elder,
Jeremy Baker, April and Sarah won the whole thing.
Yeah,
because that was right after April had gotten
arrested,
and
she.
And she did DWI jokes.
She blew the
Good
house
for
down.
her.
She blew the roof off
That's
the
cool.
place.
She owned
respect
it,
that.
and she
did.
She owned it, and just made as much as of a joke she could. She goes, I remember her opening line was something like, "Anybody have a drink, or anybody heard of anything going on lately, or something like that?"
No.
And everyone just started laughing because they got it. But she was trying hard not to make fun of drinking and driving, but just her experience in jail.
Right.
Of course.
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
it was. And to take that, own it, and make it funny was just wow. Okay.
I think she won all the trophies that night.
She did.
She did.
She cleaned house pretty much.
But it is probably the most terrifying thing I've ever done, next to officiating a wedding. I was. People ask me sometimes if I was ever nervous on TV, and I said, not really. There's a couple times you're going to interview a celebrity, and you get a little, you fanboy or you get excited about it, but.
But he's funny too.
The most nervous
Don't
I've
let
ever
him fool you.
But that's the thing is we
Knowing
can be
him,
funny.
he probably prepped for 2 weeks.
I did, and I wrote 30
Honor student over there.
I wrote 30 minutes of material, which I thought was the best comedy of all time. And of course, you get up there and you record it or you say it in front of a mirror, and it falls completely flat. Or I run it by my wife and everything. But I did my 5 minutes, and I can now check it off my bucket list. But I didn't know if that was something.
5 minutes. That's
No, I'm telling
you,
Mike.
I don't know how you do 30-minute sets, man. God,
30 goes by like that for me. My biggest problem is going to doing a 30-minute set or a 20-minute set. I'll try to shove an hour and a half into 20 minutes.
Oh, lose your flow.
Yeah, I'm just like trying so hard to get all of that in there. And if I got a new joke, I try to go for the new joke and try to sneak it in the middle. But I think if you tried stand up, Mike, I think you would be able to do it with no problem.
Sitting around shooting the crap with you boys, I'm funny off the cuff. But at 7:30, you have to go for 5 minutes on this stage. On there, go, monkey, go. That's different, man.
Just do a Fred's fish fry.
Yeah, you do a whole bit on Fred's,
and that's
you're basically like to make you feel comfortable, you go up there and just do one of your rants.
Just tell stories.
Tell stories. Tell your story and just
but
go.
Then
for
once you've
5
told them,
minutes.
I've told them I'm out of material. But if I put maybe once, I could be funny. But traveling around, that's just your job.
Let me see where you're at. Like who's your favorite comedian of all time?
Oh, like stand-up comedy?
Yeah, stand-up comedy.
All time.
Rodriguez? No, go ahead.
Outside
the
of
present
Klepto,
company excluded.
Other than Klepto. I admit bias. I do like Bill Burr.
Yeah,
a
me
lot.
too. How about you, Ernie?
I relate to him.
That's tough. I know we talked about this the other day. I've always liked impressionists. So like a Dana Carvey or a Rich Little that weren't necessarily known for their stand-up, but can do good impressions.
Oh, yeah.
Character actors, those kinds of people. Like Jim Carrey, I think, to me is...
What's the guy from Saturday Night Live that does he does characters. He does Eddie Murphy and he does Kevin Hart and he does
Jay Farrow.
Jay Farrow.
He used to be on SNL.
He used to be.
Yeah.
But,
his Jay-Z is spot on.
Jay-Z is spot on, yeah.
His Denzel's amazing.
Denzel's
His
great.
Obama is really good. He's
Yes.
the best I've heard in years.
Caliendo is pretty good.
Frank Caliendo
Yeah,
with
he's-
all his, I mean, those. So I love those. And I know Frank does stand-up, or I've seen him do stand-up before, but I really enjoy watching like impressionists and character actors like that.
LG, who's your favorite comedian?
I don't know, man.
I'm gonna give you some
Put
time
me
to
on the
think about
spot there.
that. I know.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd throw you.
Just
it
throw a
at you.
name out for funsies and we'll bag on it.
Will Ferrell.
Okay.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Bill Burr is like one of my favorites right now because you either like him or you don't. He's either your cup of tea or he's not. There's no middle ground with Bill Burr because he's either making you laugh or he's offending you one way or another.
Well, that's true.
And that's just the society we live in. It's like he can go out there and you just don't know what you're going to get with Bill. You don't know what's going to come out of his mouth. You don't know what's on his head. And you know, it's just watching guys like that.
Chappelle.
I
I mean, that guy,
one, yeah.
Chappelle's show to me was just,
Oh yeah,
gosh.
Chappelle is just he's always been that one comedian to me. Like someone had asked me, if you're asking me who's my favorite comedian of all time, it's Rodney Dangerfield, hands down.
He was awesome.
But but right now, if I was to ask, you know, like, see, someone asked me, like, who's your favorite comedian right now? It's definitely up there with Bill Burr, and I always love Bill Burr, and I love Chris Rock.
Chris Rock,
And Cat Williams. I mean, it's just these guys just make me laugh to the point where I'm just crying. I mean, it's just like, man, it's you're just hearing.
You're laughing just thinking about them right
just
now.
hearing it, it's like, I mean, Dangerfield, it's like I can just go all day and like, hey, no respect. You know, the other day my house was on fire. I heard my wife tell my kids, shh, you wake your dad. You know, hey, get up. You know?
Rodney's comedy Rodney was awesome because a lot of these guys just tell stories.
Yeah.
Based on facts that stuff they've read, things that happened to them. Of course, you embellish and you make crap up in the middle of it. Rodney was all shtick. It was he sat down and wrote 5 million jokes that meant nothing to him, that weren't not even really based on his life, and it was funny. But he
didn't become a star until he was in his 40s. Late in life.
And that's
later in life.
His stand-up style was impressive to me because, again, I can sit here and tell a story about my mom loosely based on the facts and make it funny because it means something to me and it happened to me. Rodney's just writing stuff. He was just writing shtick.
Yeah,
and that's so hard to do and make it legit funny.
Saw a guy running down naked down my block. I told him, what's going on? He goes, you came home early.
Right, your wife's home. Yeah. That's great.
You know my doctor,
One
Dr. Vinny
after-
Boombots, you know?
Yeah.
His
One
doctor.
after the other.
The other day, I told my doctor, I think my wife has VD. Give himself a shot. I don't know why. And I was like, hey.
And then you watch like Caddyshack or something.
Yeah.
And you see, and then he does that too.
They were saying, I was looking at the documentary on Caddyshack, and they were saying that he had everybody rolling when it was off takes. just everybody just rolling. And I mean, these guys, these comedians that are just between takes in movies, I can imagine what they're doing. You know, like just making people laugh. I would have loved to have been on Ocean's, 11 with Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac was really
just
good.
having him there, just kind of kicking it with him and just seeing what comes out of his mouth. So
There was a time where I thought Chris Rock was the best there's ever been.
oh, absolutely, yeah.
Not so much lately, but in his heyday,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone was better than him. No one.
I
Today, for me, it's Burr. As for guys that are doing it now
Yeah.
all the time still.
And I think with Burr, it's a different. What's refreshing about Burr is he's not politically correct.
Right. He
That's refreshing
represents the
about him.
moderate American.
Yes, he does.
He represents the libertarian. And that's me.
Yeah.
Make America moderate again.
That's right.
He offends both sides.
Both sides. There's
And to be able to get away with that in 2023 with as
It's genius.
sissified as this nation is,
Yep.
it's genius. I
genius.
love it. I love it. He doesn't give a damn.
Yep, he does not.
And he gets away with it. And for moderate guys like me, we love it. It's like, oh, thank God. This guy's like almost my mouthpiece here.
See the clip when he was on Conan and he was talking about, what's his name, Steve Jobs, and he was saying, yeah, don't like that guy. I don't see what the big deal is about that guy. And he goes, what do you mean you don't see what the big deal is about? He invented it. Did he?
Yeah.
Did he? Did he really do it? Did he do it? No, I think he told these guys, hey, I want all these songs in that little, get on it.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
So Gina Francis on Facebook says Mike is definitely funny. He should just try.
Yeah,
it.
I'm telling you.
So
I'm
I don't want-
telling you. Mike, there's mad money on the table waiting for you, Mike.
Oh, my goodness.
Mad money on the
Need
table.
free alcohol.
Well, yeah.
Get ready for it.
I think I did have a drink before I
You
went on
did
the,
have
on
a
the
drink.
stage. I definitely had a
Ernie
drink.
had a drink. Ernie had a drink. I go, Ernie, that's a pretty big cocktail. Yeah, Cleto,
Oh.
don't judge me right now, man. I'm about to go up and kill this mother. I'm like,
Oh.
okay, Ernie, do your thing.
All right, you put together another one of those little local SA famous celebrity bits,
Okay.
and let's talk.
All right. All right.
Because
All
that
right.
takes the pressure off me, too. 'cause
Yeah.
It's just for charity.
For charity.
A bunch
It's
of
for,
other
for the kids, Mike. It's
local
for the kids.
D-list celebrities like me. You know?
Has Nina ever done stand up?
Yes.
You know what?
I
You-
have seen it.
you
She's
and
great.
Nina
Oh, God.
should be should do it together. Like not
funny.
together as a group, but at the same time on the same show.
Event, like a
Yes.
comedy face-off.
Yeah, she's raw. And
Yeah.
She doesn't give a darn.
Yeah.
She's got like split personalities, I think.
Yeah.
Because when she is so talented, so funny. Y'all have heard me rant about her before,
Yes.
how much I think she's talented and funny. She hates when I do this, by the way. I will get told off for this. She is the most private, don't give a damn popular person I've ever seen, I've ever known.
Nina.
It's unbelievable.
Huh.
This has actually been one of the things that's been good for me dating her. It's taught me to withdraw and make my circle small, because I used to be there. I used to be known for being a bit of a partier. 2010 Taylor is what we call it.
Oh,
2010
2010
Back in
Taylor.
2010, I was pretty full throttle.
Second base.
It was pretty meddled down. But I have learned as I've gotten older too. But it's not just her; I've just gotten older. But anyways, our circle is small. We don't do a lot because our jobs are crazy. Look what I do for a living. It's crazy. And so when I'm not doing this, I like to just go away. And not that I'm weird, but we
Right.
just keep it small.
I get that.
Mike,
When she's doing stuff,
So
though,
she
she's
based-
so out there. If you just saw Nina's stuff online, you'd think that it was just, and it is funny all day long at the house.
Yeah.
But she is not. It's just different. She doesn't want anything
When
to
you-
do with publicity and the fame, and she's not driven by money or popularity. She doesn't care, and she's crazy talented, and that's what makes me
Wow.
like her more. But I have seen her do it. She's done it on occasion, stand up before, and she was terrific and hilarious. And she's going to get mad at this part of the
right.
show. So let's
It
move
comes
on.
from a
Well,
loving place.
It comes from
Oh,
a
she
love
knows
place,
that.
Blame
right,
it on
yeah.
Cleto and
Yeah,
me.
she's
Yeah,
just humble,
yeah.
man. She's just very.
Well, that's good. Well, may she never change, though.
No, she never
that's,
will.
So
that's,
would you say that the one and only Nina has tamed the 2010 Mike Taylor?
Oh, so what happened was
That's a yes.
That's a yes.
well, I have a harness on, but I'm not in the stable.
Okay.
I'll let you put the harness on.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Just
So
don't
you're-
make me live in the stable.
So we can't. You can't. You'll buck someone off right now if they get on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
She's still 2010.
I
Okay.
get the equestrian analogy.
But you got the
he made
harness
there.
on, so she's
Okay.
part of Yellowstone right now.
You know, I've just evolved as a man. My kids have all gotten older too. You know, one day I'm sure my oldest already have, but my twins at some point are gonna let's Google Daddy.
Oh, yes.
Jeez.
Now, do they like Nina? Do they like?
They love her.
I love her. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My kids, one of my twins Googled me the other day, apparently, and I have not done this, so I'm just taking them at their word. But they said something like, you know, my estimated worth was like $3 million or something.
Oh,
and
wow.
it, mine,
Yours online,
which is not. Let's be very clear.
you would not be sitting here.
Not this long. And I love you guys, but no. They, you know, I don't know if your kids ever. You said yours do, but Google you and the crazy stuff that comes up with.
I'm
or
1450. I found out.
a classmate. Do what?
1450. I found
That's
out.
your worth.
That's my worth.
$14.50.
On a good day.
And
on
I'm
a
like,
good day.
yeah, no, I'm not.
and one box of Freds.
I've had listeners say that before. You're an arrogant a-hole. I looked up what sports talk radio hosts make.
Yeah.
In mid markets, you make $500,000.
Oh,
a year.
yeah, exactly.
You're a bastard.
Right. Right.
Sure, buddy.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know where that the Army must keep that money.
It's funny,
I ain't seen a
it's
nickel
funny
of
the
that money.
perception that people have when
Oh, yeah.
you're either on the radio or on TV. I remember I moved in with my wife, and she had lived over there on the east side
Yeah.
of San Antonio. And I remember when she invited me over, I'm like, oh, yeah, where you live? And, you know, she's invited me to her house for dinner.
Yeah.
And then I go, well, she goes, yeah, I live over here by East Houston and WW And I'm like, whoa, hey, hold on. I said,
Where'd you go to school?
I said, hey, that's right. That's the east side. She's
Yeah.
like, yeah, what's the matter? I go, well, hold on. You said like 7. Can we make it 5? Like, she goes, no, what are you doing? What's the matter? You all right? I go, no, I'm cool. You know, I ain't trying to look like a punk. And then I was like, I'll go over there and I have dinner and everything. And the next thing you know it, I'm there, like, you know, we got married. She kept the house in divorce because her family owned the East Side Cleaners.
Okay.
So her ex family. So she wound up keeping the house in the divorce. So I wound up moving over there with her, brought my bags of smiles, and here I am. She had the job, the car, the insurance, the house, everything. I just brought my little bag of smiles, and here we go. And then so I wind up going over there. And I remember one day, the first year, actually it was second year, I was in the news for News 4.
Yeah.
And I went to the HEB. My HEB was on WW
Right.
Now, a lot of people stereotype the East Side as much as, you know, as possible, and they can say what they want, but where I lived, that area, I mean, was just cool. I mean, we knew everybody, you know, and it's so funny because the one block that she lived in was like all Mexicans. It was crazy. It was weird, and we were just kind of like, we had a good little time and everything like that, and I knew everybody in different blocks and so on.
Yeah.
Well, when I got the news and I'm at the HEB and I'm there, and I'll never forget, I had this lady, this African American lady, come up to me and she goes, Cleto, what you doing here? You lost?
Oh.
And I said, no, I live down the block. She said, what? I thought you lived over there by the Dominion. I said,
Yeah.
what made you think I live in the Dominion? She goes, all you news people live in the Dominion.
Sure.
They do, but not me.
Yeah.
I don't live there. I go, I live
No.
over here by East Houston. She goes, that's what I'm talking about, baby. You keep it real.
There you
and
go.
I said, now hold on. That money comes, I'm gone. She goes, that's right. I leave too. I laughed so hard. And her name was Mrs. Johnson, that lived like 2 blocks from me.
Right.
And she became really good friends till one year she passed. And
Yeah.
but that was. I mean, I tell you, I met some of the greatest people to this day. Still go back there and visit. And I mean, it's weird because I go back. I'm like Richie Valens, bro. I'm like, hey, Richie, he's back, and you know, it's so it's kind of crazy, you know. Little
We should do a show, maybe eventually, maybe next in 24. We'll do a on the road. We'll take the podcast to different parts of town, and we'll just do a
That'd be
show
cool.
on a Tuesday on the east side, and then we'll go to the west side, or we'll go to south side, whatever side of town.
I've always wanted to do a barbershop tour.
Yeah.
Ooh,
There's
that'd be
cool
cool.
barbers.
Yeah.
Every nook of this town. Even you Northsiders have good barbers.
Yes, they do.
I thought it would be cool. I've always thought it'd be cool. Back when I was doing the radio show.
Yeah.
To do like a barbershop tour where you
That
did
would be-
different shows, different sections of town, and
Yeah.
barbershops.
and they know their
we
sports.
sat there and got our hair cut while
Yeah.
doing the show.
They know
How
their
great
sports.
would that be?
I've thought of something similar, but with like a taqueria or like the little restaurants.
The
Right,
barbershops,
little-
yeah.
the barbershops,
Yeah,
they,
yeah, yeah.
Barbershops.
those guys, I'm telling you, know their sports.
We've got some damn good barbers in this town too.
Mhm.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a handful. Of
Oh,
them.
for sure.
Like when I first moved to Hawaii, my neighbor was a barber. Where are you from, Mike? Oh, San Antonio. Oh, yeah.
You know one?
He busted out. Yeah, well, he busted
Yeah.
out 3 barbers that are famous, like TikTok.
Yeah.
They go on TikTok and Facebook and they post all their stuff. And what's the
Put the
LG?
Spurs logo in your
Who's the
head.
dude
Or
does all
whatever.
the
You had the
logos.
guy that did the Spurs.
Hell's that
Well,
guy's name?
Isaac was it Isaac Flores who is the Spurs barber? I had him
Nice.
on my show not too long ago. But is it Jay? I'm losing the name right now, but
I'm about to tell you. Keep talking.
but yeah, no, there are. Think about it. Yeah, there are a handful of barbers. Now, I didn't realize they had the notoriety that you were talking about. Where you go to Hawaii,
in
and they're
Hawaii,
like,
and they heard
wow.
of the guy because he puts all of the stuff online, and he was the first started putting people's faces in the back of heads. Jay-Z,
yeah.
He was asking me earlier about crazy fans before we
Yeah.
got
Oh,
on the
yeah,
air.
yeah.
I had a listener went over there and shaved my head in his head one time. It was the least famous person that guy's ever done.
My brother.
Rob the original.
Rob the original.
Rob.
There you go.
Sorry, Rob.
No.
I'm an idiot. Sorry, Rob.
No.
My brother tattooed, got a tattoo of the Where's Clifton logo
That's cool.
on the back of his head.
Wow. And it's still there.
It's still there, unless he grows his hair out. But yeah, it's still there. It's gonna be
Oh,
there
man.
for a while too. So
It's
it's crazy watching that Where's Clifton logo on the back of his head. I mean, I told him, I said, bro, you're just gonna get a pair of socks from me. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna. I can't do that. I'm
Well,
like,
wow.
I'm
Listen, we what another riveting conversation today.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
real
go ahead.
quick,
No.
I'm sorry. Rob on Instagram has 1.7 million followers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's famous. Anyway,
We need to start cutting hair.
Yeah,
Apparently
really.
is what
On
we
the
need to
wrong
do.
we need to
gig.
go on a tour and do
And
do
go
shows
on a
at
tour.
barbers.
So,
That'd be cool.
something to think about for 2024. But we still have some shows to do in 2023, including on Thursday. Again, here in studio, we're going to have Ronnie and Stephanie Suarez, the owners of Integrity Roofing and Siding, here in the house to kind of talk about their story. And again, we'll thank them for their ongoing support in person. So until then, for Cleto Rodriguez and Mike Taylor and LG right here next to me, I'm Ernie Zuniga saying so long for now. Thank you so much for
Bye, guys.
sharing the video and joining us here on Facebook. To all of our Facebook friends, hello. We'll do it again very soon, right here from the Chatterbox Studios, the 3 Cents Podcast presented by Integrity Roofing and Siding.
$3 Cents Podcast is brought to you by Integrity Roofing and Siding.